You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
Minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Clement Manyathela Show. Wonderful to have you with us here on 702 on this second last day of January. Hey, what a long January, hey? It feels like it's been like an entire 2 years of January. It's Friday, so we do Gratitude Friday on the 702 open line. You can call us on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Tell us what you are grateful for this week. Here's a question. Is President Cyril Ramaphosa protecting his comrade Senzo Mchunu? Senzo Mchunu's name doesn't feature on the list of names that the commission has recommended for investigation, which the president has directed the special task team to probe. Nothing stops the president from acting if he's so concerned about what's come out of the commission so far regarding Senzo Mchunu. The president is not obligated to wait until the Madlanga Commission finishes its work. I mean, it was clear to everyone during Senzo Mchunu's testimony that he issued an unlawful instruction regarding the disbandment of the PKTT. It was quite clear that the minister didn't follow the right process in disbanding that task team. So it's suspicious that the commission would not even mention the minister's name and recommend to the president to consider action. I really find that to be quite suspicious. And please, don't tell me that the commission wants to wait until the end of its work. It still wants to hear from the minister again before any recommendation. That doesn't fly, because there are some people even on this list that is going to be investigated that have not even appeared before the commission yet to tell their side of the story. And yet, the commission has still recommended that they be investigated. But that's for the commission to explain. Why is the president not acting against the minister? Doesn't he believe that there's prima facie evidence against Senzo Mchunu? That he failed to consult before taking such a big decision about the PKTT? That he interfered in operational matters by instructing the National Commissioner first to disband the PKTT immediately, failed to even do a review of the task team before disbanding it. And he really compromised investigations because the dockets got stuck at head office before they were sent back to the task team. So does the president think this is not serious enough to warrant Senzo Mchunu's removal from office? Listen to the conversation I had with Vincent Magwenya, who speaks on behalf of the president, I spoke to him on my show last night on Face the Nation. I suppose what is frustrating, Vincent, is that the minister has made concessions at the Madlanga Commission. The president is not legally obligated to even follow any recommendations of the Madlanga Commission. So saying that he's waiting for that process to be concluded, I think, is a cop-out. Let's look at what the minister has conceded to. He has failed to consult before taking such a big decision to disband the PKTT. That's one thing that the Madlanga Commission has made it clear to him. He interfered in operational matters by instructing the National Police Commissioner to disband the PKTT immediately. He failed to even do a review of the task team before disbanding it. That compromised investigations because dockets got stuck at head office before they were sent back. Is that not serious enough for the president to say, I am not going to let you stay in office while taxpayers are paying your salary? I am going to ask you to step aside because what you stand accused of and what you've just conceded to is quite serious, unless the president doesn't think what I've just mentioned is serious.
No, it is quite serious, and it is a concern to the president. That's why the president has placed him on special leave. He's not in charge of any portfolio or the police portfolio for that matter. But Clement, this is a political process, if you like, and the president is ensuring that before he acts, which he will do, and he will do so decisively, that he has given Minister Mchunu enough of an opportunity to go through due process, to have the commission conclude its work and make a finding that can then inform the president's action. I hear where you're coming from. All of those issues are issues of concern, but let's allow this due process to take place so that when the president does act, there is no complaint or issue of any form of unfairness.
There's no way the minister would complain that the president, you're unfair to me. When the president says to the minister, you took decisions that compromised investigations, you interfered in operational matters. Even if the minister says to the president, you are acting against me unfairly, there's no ground to stand on.
Well, Clement, so far as things stand, the president's view is let the minister answer.
Yeah, so that's what Vincent said. And then I argued to Vincent Magwenya that the president has a tendency to protect his comrades, and he disagreed with me, but I gave him some examples.
System. And so we shouldn't get over-fixated over just one person, as much as one appreciates the urgency of action and the president being seen to be acting. He is acting now, as we've published all those names.
He's acting against other people, just not his political comrades.
Well, it's not a case of Minister Mchunu is being defended or protected.
Well, the president has a tendency to protect his comrades.
There's no protection.
Can I give you examples?
There's no protection.
Can I give you examples?
No, don't worry about examples. In this particular case, there's no evidence of the president protecting Minister Mchunu in any way whatsoever.
Zweli Mkhize was accused. There was overwhelming evidence against him with digital vibes. The president didn't act against him.
He's still a minister.
He resigned. And that's the point I'm making. The frustration South Africans had is the president said, with overwhelming evidence against Zweli Mkhize, he didn't act. In fact, he waits for Zweli Mkhize to resign. That is not decisive action. Decisive action is, I'm revolted with your behavior, and I see what the evidence is, and I can't have you in my cabinet. So is that going to be the case also with Senzo Mchunu, where the president then says, let me wait for him to resign? That is not decisive action. David Mahlobo, I've used this example to you before. David Mahlobo was found wanting by the task team the president appointed at State Security Agency. What did the president do? He gives him a job in his cabinet. Arthur Fraser is another one. I can go on and on. Arthur Fraser was found wanting. He did wrong things at the State Security Agency. Did the president take action against him? No, he didn't. He gives him a job as Correctional Services Commissioner. The point I'm making is we've seen this tendency before where politicians and the president in particular protects his comrades. He is not decisive. And hence now the frustration is, if really the president is concerned about what has been revealed in as far as the behavior of Senzo Mchunu, why would he want to wait for the commission to finish its work?
Yeah, no, I think, Clement, your definition of protecting will be different from mine.
Okay, so that's what Vincent Magwenya said last night. So this morning, and I want you to listen to me quite attentively now. I got a message from Vincent Magwenya trying to correct what he says is a factual error that he made last night when he was on my show. And for me, this reveals something that we have not been told by the presidency. So he says to me on a message that I conflated the findings with recommendations last night when I spoke to you. Indeed, and this is very important, indeed, the commission made findings against Minister Mchunu. However, it did not make recommendations. That's how I should have formulated my response to you. Now, I'm going to pause there. He goes on to explain and repeat some of the things that he had said during the clips that I had played you. But here's what's important to me. Vincent Magwenya is confirming that the Madlanga Commission made findings against Minister Senzo Mchunu. But they didn't make recommendations on what should be done. Which means the president is sitting right now with a finding against his cabinet minister, and he's choosing not to act just because the Madlanga Commission has not recommended what he should do. And once again, like I stated to Vincent last night, that's a cop-out. And I have asked Vincent, can you please share with us what the finding is? And Vincent said, I can't share the finding, unfortunately, because the report is not public. So there's a finding against the minister. They don't want to tell us what the Madlanga said. What is this finding against the minister? But the president is sitting with it and is willing to have us as taxpayers continue to pay the salary of Senzo Mchunu. And then when the commission is finished at some point, when so many thousands of rands have been paid for this man who's sitting at home, who has clearly made concessions and admitted to wrongdoing in his behavior in as far as following the process is concerned. You remember the concessions he made at the Madlanga Commission. We're going to pay his salary. And the action is going to be, I can bet you, there's no way President Cyril Ramaphosa is not going to act against him. He's just buying time. For what? I don't know. But that is disappointing. It is disappointing that there's a finding against your cabinet minister. And you're going to use the justification and explanation that, but there's no recommendation to justify why you are not acting against them. Let me know your thoughts. 011-883-0702. WhatsApp's 072-702-1702.
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Tsapo, you calling from Pretoria. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Look, that was my first submission, first to say the interim report that was submitted to the president did have the Minister Senzo Mchunu's name. There was a finding and a recommendation to that effect. But I think we have since answered the question. I think my next question is that I was a little bit struck by the name of the gentleman that have been appearing in the commission for the past 2 days. What is his name? Sonona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I've seen his name do appear as well. There was a finding, there's a recommendation.
Yeah.
But now the question is that does a person, there is a finding even before the person appeared before the commission, or even he completed his testimony before the commission. I was a little bit struck by that because it appeared to me as if that the commission they have already made a conclusion about his submission even before he finishes his testimony before.
I think the commission relied. Remember, the commission had not even heard from Lisitja Sinona because this interim report was sent last year. Remember. So I think what the commission has relied on is the testimony of other witnesses. Remember, there's evidence that has been presented of the very same WhatsApp messages that were put to Sinona to respond to. That evidence has already been presented to the Madlanga Commission. So I think the commission relied on the other evidence from other witnesses to warrant and justify why they think that this man must be investigated. Even before he presents his side of the story, they were satisfied that there is prima facie evidence. For instance, there are other people like who is the Gauteng organized crime head? Shibiri, he hasn't appeared before the Madlanga Commission yet, but they still recommend that there must be investigations against him. Why? Because there's been overwhelming evidence that suggests that he may have acted improperly. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does make sense, Clement. Thank you.
Thanks for your call, Tsapo. In Pretoria, Mark, you are in Centurion. Hi.
Morning, Clement. Look, it's quite clear that Ramaphosa always protects buddies in government. And if they're aligned to him, then obviously they can do whatever they want. If you look at the case of Andrew Whitfield, who asked Ramaphosa about, 10 times if he could go overseas, where Ramaphosa actually neglected in his duties to give him an answer one way or the other. Andrew Whitfield went anyway for a visit overseas, and he gets fired for it. I mean, there's no problem. Why? Obviously because he's a DA member. However, ministers like Mocheka, who's got blood on her hands from the soldiers that died in the DRC, I mean, we could even get them back to the debacle with the naval exercises. If he always wants to listen to recommendations from everybody else, because he can't govern and he can't make up his own mind, then we basically difference. At the same time, the Zondo Commission's recommendations have been lying on his desk for, 2-3 years, and he hasn't done anything about it. And hates a lot of his ANC buddies.
Yeah, your line is breaking there, Mark, but it's not factual that he hasn't done anything about the Zondo Commission. In fact, the presidency has released a report demonstrating that 50 or 60%, if I'm not mistaken, of the recommendations have been implemented. There may not be specific ones where you and I are most interested in, because we want to see politicians and action taken against them. But to say nothing has been done is not necessarily factual. But I get the point that you're making, Mark, in Centurion. Thanks for your call. Joe, you're in Davidton. Hi.
Clement, shortly for it. How are you?
Hi, Gimnat. Wena?
Good. Shortly, Hariboni, don't we see that his aim, yes, he's going to take action against Senzo, but he wants to enrich him first. Unlike other people, ordinary people, Sharp, Clement.
Ish. Yeah. And Bamu enrich how, Joe? As a taxpayer, that's you paying Senzo Mchunu's salary while he sits at home. And I can bet you guys, the president will act against Senzo. Senzo is not going to come back to cabinet. No ways. It's not going to happen. But why is the president buying time like this? Why is he not being decisive and acting now? And watch, Senzo is going to resign. Because that's how our president operates. He claims to be decisive. It is not being decisive when you sit down with someone and you say to them, oh, please resign. Or the person decides out of their own volition to resign. You failed to be decisive. Decisiveness is, Senzo Mchunu, I see the evidence against you there. You yourself has conceded that how you've done things is wrong. Therefore, I'm going to ask you to leave. That is decisive action. Zweli Mkhize, I see digital vibes and what is happening there and how your family continues to be linked to that corruption in some way. I'm going to ask you to leave. That's not what the president does. He waits for them to resign or even asks them to resign, whatever the case is. Because what he has failed to do is to be decisive and say, I want you out of my cabinet because I'm so revolted by the actions and the evidence that I've seen against you. And now for Vincent Magwenya to admit now that there is actually a finding against Senzo Mchunu. So why the hell is the president then not acting? Hey, Joe, you are in Davidton. Good morning. Oh, what happened there to Joe's call? Let's bring Joe back. David, in the meantime, let's come to you. You're calling us from Alex. Hi.
Sure, Clement. How's it?
Hi, Gimnat. Duena.
Good, man. I don't think President is really protecting this guy, Senzo Mchunu. I just think he is incapable of acting. The problem with President is that he has a lot of people to consult with. He over-consult. Remember Kusela Diko, the PPE scandals? So the lady just decided to resign, even though everybody was like, President, here is a person who is your spokesperson, is involved.
Well, her husband was involved, to be fair. She wasn't.
But also conflict of interest there, out of just respect of the president. She didn't. He didn't act against the lady. And where's the lady now? In parliament. The president is just incapable of acting. That's who he is, and we should accept he moves very slowly, and the country doesn't need someone like that at the cost of the taxpayers' money.
Absolutely. David and Alex, thank you so much for your call. It's now 9:30. Time for the latest in Eyewitness News headlines. By the way, I also interviewed the acting Minister of Police, Firoz Kachalia, last night on Face the Nation, and he confirmed that all of the cops that this special task team is going to investigate, right? All of these guys that the Madlanga Commission has recommended that action be taken against them, they are going to be put on precautionary suspension, which is good. That's what we were talking about on the Open 9 yesterday, remember? Why are these people still on the job? Why can't they be suspended precautionary while investigations continue? So I was happy to hear the acting Minister of Police confirming last night that that's actually what he has suggested also to the National Police Commissioner should be the case. So they are going to be put on precautionary suspension.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
25 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is the 702 open line. We're having a conversation this morning about, well, first of all, Gratitude Friday. What are you grateful for this week? But also what happened yesterday, the president announcing that there will be an establishment of the special task team that's going to investigate this long list of mostly police officers who the Madlanga Commission has recommended that further investigation be done against them, because from the evidence that Madlanga Commission has had so far, there's prima facie evidence against them. So the president has directed the police minister to establish, together with the National Police Commissioner, the special task team. So the police minister told me last night that all of those people mentioned are going to be put on precautionary suspension while investigations continue. But Vincent Magwenya tells me that the president wants to only act against Senzo Mchunu when the commission is done, as if there's any law that says you must wait for the commission to be done. By the way, even if the commission is done and there's a recommendation against Senzo Mchunu, the president is not legally obligated to act on it. He's not. The commission's recommendations are just that, recommendations. Well, unfortunately or fortunately, but that's the case. So the president could choose, not interested, I'm not going to implement this. It won't look good for him, but he wouldn't be breaking the law. So Vincent Magwenya, as I said, if you missed it earlier, sent me a message this morning confirming that, look, I made a mistake last night because I was conflating two things. I conflated findings with recommendations. And he confirmed that the commission actually did make findings against Senzo Mchunu. However, it did not make recommendations. And as a result, the president wants to wait for the minister to go back to the commission to respond to more allegations, and then the president will take action at the end, which I think is crazy, because even the commission itself has not waited for all people to come and give their side of the story before they can recommend that further investigations be conducted against them. There are people who are on that list who are going to be investigated that have not even appeared before the Madlanga Commission. So why does the president think that for there to be action taken, what must happen first is for someone to conclude their testimony, which Senzo Mchunu has done, by the way, but the president wants him to go back to the commission. I find that to be very suspicious. And my argument is that the president, once again, is protecting his political comrades. We've seen him do it with Senzo Mchunu, where in the face of overwhelming evidence, he just wasn't interested to act until last minute when Senzo Mchunu, when Zweli Mkhize resigns. David Mahlobo, findings against him in a report that Sidney Mufamadi worked on about the State Security Agency and the role of David Mahlobo there, the role of Arthur Fraser there. Can you imagine? The president established a task team. He appointed Sidney Mufamadi, spent money on that task team and said, please go investigate what happened at the State Security Agency. Sidney Mufamadi comes back and says, hey, there was a politicization of that agency. It's broken apart, Mr. President. And these are the people who were contributors to the breakdown of that system. David Mahlobo is one of them. Arthur Fraser is one of them. Do you think the president took action against them? No. In fact, he promotes them. He gives them jobs. David Mahlobo gives him a job in his cabinet. Arthur Fraser gives him a job as Correctional Services Commissioner. Really? You're going to claim that that's a president who's serious about accountability? You're going to claim that that's a president who is serious about decisive action? I'm not convinced. Sorry, I'm not convinced. So I played you a clip of the conversation I had with Vincent Makwenya. So I'm going to come to your calls in a moment. I'm told that we seem to be experiencing a delay and problems with our WhatsApp line. So I'm going to ask that you rather call us on 011-883-0702 if you want to weigh in on the conversations we're having, because, but that our technicians are busy trying to sort out our WhatsApp line. There seems to be something wrong with it there, but that's a technical issue that they're sorting out. In the meantime, though, let's talk on 011-883-0702. Here's another clip I want to play for you. I had a conversation with, guess who? Brown Mokhotsi last night as well. And he claimed that part of the reason he doesn't want to accept parliamentary security is because he is scared of the state. So he says he thinks the state is the one that wants to kill him. Right? So I asked him, when did you actually get your security, Gandhi? Because it's an advanced security. He says, I think he said there are probably about 6-8 people or so that are protecting him. And I was like, this advanced security, when did you get it? He's like, because I fear for my life. So when did you get it? He said he got it in September last year. And then I asked him, so why did you drive on your own in November last year when you ended up surviving a shooting? And I say that in inverted commas. I asked him that. You ended up surviving, quote unquote, surviving the shooting. Why would you drive on your own if really you've got such advanced security and you know that the state wants to kill you? This was the response that he had given. I don't know if you buy it. When did you get the security company to start protecting?
I cannot determine that.
You can't determine when you started using them?
Last year, it was last year.
When last year? In November,
around,
in August?
I think September last year. No, before October.
So
around
then,
September.
So where were they then when you were shot and you managed to run away from that shooting? Because if really you are so concerned about your security and it's so advanced, how did they let you drive on your own to a point where you survive a shooting?
Alone, yeah. Yes, and that's a very good question. Thank you, Clement. It's time to clarify that. Obviously, I did report, even on the statement, I did say, like when I'm at home, sometimes they stay in a hotel, I'm at my house, I do drive alone. I had a personal thing to do, kind of rituals and stuff to make those things, practical. I couldn't bring people. And I learned from that day till today that it's important to always have these people around you. They even want me. I have letters because they even terminated and we had to renegotiate again because they terminated the contract on the same day. And the following day after the incident, they were very, very upset and unhappy. And being a layman, not used to that kind of life, I did not really take that serious like I'm doing now.
So you had rituals to attend to and these people couldn't drive you to wherever you're going to do your rituals and allow you to do your rituals? Because I imagine your rituals were not on the road while you're driving, right? You were going to a destination to perform them. They could have driven you there, drop you off to manage your business.
No, that's why I said I took it that I must do it. It's a personal thing. I mean, being Clement Manyathela, maybe we are Zulu or Cross. I will want to go alone. It's just that kind of
but you can be dropped off. So if me and my life is in danger, they can drop me off. They can even drop me off at the corner. They don't have to drop me off at the Nyangeni that I'm going to. So
yes, you are right. That's why I say I learned from that to never ever let these people off me. Like, they should not be. I should never have that situation again. I learned. You'll take it light. You'll think I even drove a car from Mafikeng, which I thought people did not know.
Have you deposed a statement regarding that shooting to the police?
Yes, the investigation is on. Even now, I've been contacted. They have found some DNA samples, the forensic people. The investigation is very positive, and I'm happy with it.
Okay. Yeah, there was a question there. I was asking him if he's still an agent of the state. And he said, well, that's immaterial. I was like, the state that you are an agent of is trying to kill you. And he said, well, that's immaterial. Senzo, you're calling us from Krugersdorp. Good morning.
Sure, Clement, how's it?
I
know, I'm good. No, man, Clement, this guy is lying. You know, everything he's saying is just a lie and a lie and on top of a lie. You know, I've had people who have got security detail in their vicinity. When you say that the security company they cancel the contract, how can they cancel the contract of a client without the consent of a client? No, man, this must take us serious. This guy must just tell the truth. He decided to went on his own to stage whatever was doing that is being sorted because he had to go alone because he want to leak with the security guards because we have heard in the past that security guards, private security guards leak information and whatnot. So I think we're scared of that. So he decided to go alone. So now to come to us and lie, no, we're not being respected in this country. We're not being respected at all because they know that South Africans are completely, they just keep quiet, they're not going to do anything.
Senzo in Krugersdorp, thanks for your call. Judah in Centurion, hi. Hi, Judah.
Hello? Peter.
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry, Clement, Peter. Clement, I think with this Senzo Mchunu thing, I think we have to take a step back, is the CR7 files. I think that is the crux of the matter here. Senzo was behind putting those under lock and key, was he not?
He was on the slate of Cyril Ramaphosa. In fact, the president, before he became president and was elected, wanted Senzo Mchunu to be the, was it not deputy, it was Secretary General of the ANC, if I'm not mistaken, So they worked together on that CR campaign.
Yeah, but those whole files were put away under Senzo's lock and key, so he knows what is in those files. So is it a case where our president is now saying, well, if I do anything to him, he might open his mouth?
Hey, who knows, Judah? Who knows? Maybe that is the case because it just doesn't make sense to any of us. It really doesn't. So maybe that is the case. I don't know. Thanks for your call, Judah in Centurion. Seppo, you're in North Riding. Hi.
Hi, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Go ahead.
I'm good. I just wanted to support your statement when you said the president is protecting his comrades. You have to remember the crucial part Senzo Mchunu played in the CR17 campaign, especially in the KZN region, which was very hard for the president to win. Now, politics can sometimes get dirty. I do believe in order for Cyril Ramaphosa to get KZN, he had to play dirty. Now, it's not going to be easy for President Ramaphosa to just kick out Senzo Mchunu. This is the time for Ramaphosa to return the favor to Senzo Mchunu. You are right. He's going to ask Senzo Mchunu, could you just resign to tone down? Next year, when we have something trending, they'll find a position for Senzo Mchunu in Luthuli House, and you'll be back.
And, my thing, Seppo, is, you see, there's something different between Cyril Ramaphosa and Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma, I think, in my experience, actually, took decisions and just stood by them and didn't claim to be anything else. President Cyril Ramaphosa claims to be an ethical leader. He claims to be a different leader. He claims to do things differently. Jacob Zuma never claimed any of these things. Jacob Zuma just came and was like, I'm a president. I'm going to take decisions. You're going to like some of them. You're not going to like some of them. Take it or leave it. So if you're going to claim that you are an ethical leader, you care about ethics, you care about making decisions that are right at the right time, and then your behavior is contradictory, then you're treating us like kids. You think we're stupid?
can I also add, we as a country, we got scammed by President Ramaphosa, because you remember how he insisted that he's going to root out corruption, he's going to do... Now look what's happened in our country.
Yeah.
So he scammed us really good, eh? He scammed the country really good.
Tsapo in North Riding, thanks for your call. It's 10 minutes before 10.
Your voice,
Your station.
your open line
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela.
on 702.
I had nothing to do with that. That's Abel who just played that. Tumamina. Remember? Nick, you calling us from Sandton. Good morning.
Wow, that was so unfair. That song just tripped me. But nonetheless, let's see. Clement, I think there's a very interesting story about, as you've said, how Vincent has responded. He's really revealed a lot more than we can imagine. Now we know there's evidence that the minister has been found wanting to some extent.
Yeah, there's a finding against him.
There's a finding against him. Now, my take is, based on that, I believe the president... So let's not trip on the legal issue, because it's not about that. Based on the fact that there's a finding, the president should then be able to take action on him on the following basis. It's for the public good. No, let's agree. It's for the public good. It's public trust. I'm trying to restore order. It's a very serious sort of a ministry and the department that really the world is watching. And I think on the basis of that, it's enough for him as the boss of that individual to take action. However, this issue about the recommendation is really an unnecessary technicality. You must remember that there was that Constitutional Court judgment which took place, I think, 10 years ago. The one for the EFF as well as the national speaker, which then says remedial action that are recommended by an investigative body, they do become binding. And therefore, anyone, if these were made, let's say, by that investigative body, which my take is now a commission similar to that, where the president then will be forced to act on. But I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah,
because the Constitutional Court, it's not necessary, and we don't need to wait for the recommendation. It's a clout, and a clout based on public trust and public good. Yeah. It's enough for my president.
So just a slight correction there, Nick. So the Constitutional Court judgment was specifically on the Public Protector's Office.
Fully understand. Yeah. But I was using the idea of an investigative body, which is similar, because remember, they did an investigation and they made recommendations. I can tell that probably the same thing, if a recommendation is made by a commission, even though, you don't have to take
not legally binding,
yes, if it's made, it's very difficult for one not to enforce those recommendations.
Yeah, you would have to explain why you're choosing not to. I mean, especially when you've spent so much money on a commission, why would you not want to implement their recommendations? You're right. But if the president chose to, I'm not going to recommend, he's not against the law. Like the police can arrest him, or he's not doing anything illegal, which is part of the problem. But yeah, I absolutely get your point, Nick. The point here is there's a finding against Senzo Mchunu. If really the president is not convinced by the evidence we've seen there of his wrongdoing and the concessions he's made, here's a finding. Why are you not telling us what it is, and why are you not acting on it? Mcetisi, you are in Lyndhurst. Hi.
Hi, Clement.
Sure.
I'm going to be very nice and short. My comment on Cyril Ramaphosa not acting is we have a problem where the president now owes too many people favors. If you start from CR17 and you come to Palapala, a lot of people, shielded him, because those were things that, could have ended his presidency. So now he owes a lot of people. It's not going to be the last time with Senzo Mchunu where he's not acting. It's going to be another minister, another one, and another one, because he now owes all these people for what they've done for him. So it's a continuing thing. We are going to discuss it forever, because once you now owe people for what you've done, they're going to collect at some point. And now it's Senzo Mchunu's turn to collect, and say, but remember Palapala? Remember, CR17 are covered for you. So we now have a useless president, if I can use the word, because he owes a lot of people favors. He's made a deal with the devil, as they say, you know.
Yeah.
So we have to live with this. That's unfortunately. Thank you, Clement.
Yeah. Imagine if that is the reality, then we are really in trouble. Thank you. It's 3 minutes before 10.